Oi, you ever get that gut punch feeling like your country's robbing you blind while smiling in your face? Yeah, that's Australia right now. The land down under, turning into the land down plundered. And if you think I'm just sooking about nothing, mate, you better strap in, because what I'm about to tell you will either make you pack your bags or lose your bloody mind. They're not just coming for your paycheck anymore. Nah, that'd be too easy. They're coming for your future, your nest egg, your retirement, your investments, even the money you haven't earned yet. Unrealized gains tax. Sounds harmless, right? Bit of bureaucratic jargon? Bullshit. It's daylight robbery with a pen and a smile. Before we tear into this absolute tax heist, where Albo raids your super, Dutton says nothing, and the ATO's got you in a financial chokehold. Smash that like button like you're swatting away another ATO letter. Subscribe if you're done letting Canberra pick your pockets. And grab the "Is this the better Australia you promised" tee. Links in the description before the next tax bracket kicks in. Let's not sugarcoat it. This is the government quietly sliding their hands into your back pocket while telling you it's for your own good. First, it's only on accounts over 3 million. That's what they said. That's what they always say. Then it becomes 2 million. Then May 1st. Before you know it, you're paying tax on paper profits you haven't even seen. That beach house you were banking on selling in 10 years. That crypto stack you're hodling for retirement. They're taxing it before you've even touched it. Doesn't matter if it crashes tomorrow, you'll still owe them. How's that for fair dinkum? And don't start thinking this is only for the filthy rich either. This is classic bait and switch. They dangle just the ultra-wealthy like a carrot, but give it a few years and they'll be squeezing the middle class too. You know, the ones barely holding on with a mortgage the size of a small country's GDP. And let's not forget, inflation's doing laps around your savings account like it's Usain Bloody Bolt. That 3 million threshold, it's shrinking every year while your taxes grow. Now I know some numpty out there's going to say, "Oi, just pay your fair share." All right, mate, but what happens when that fair share becomes half your wealth? What happens when you can't retire because they bled your super dry? This isn't about being greedy. It's about protecting what's yours from a government that can't stop spending and now needs your savings to clean up their mess. You think this is about funding hospitals and schools? Wake up. This is about patching the hole in the budget caused by decades of bad decisions and handouts they can't afford anymore. And here's where it gets bloody outrageous. The moment you try to leave, they hit you with an exit tax. Yeah, you heard that right. Want to get out before the house burns down? Got to pay a toll at the door, mate. Unrealized capital gains tax, even as you leave. They pretend your assets are sold the day you move overseas, then demand the tax up front. Doesn't matter if you haven't sold a damn thing. You owe them anyway. And if you think they'll just forget about you once you've moved to Thailand or Portugal or El Salvador, think again. These bastards will chase you to the ends of the earth. You'll be sitting on a beach in Bali and still getting ATO letters in your inbox. You reckon it's bad now? You wait till they start taxing based on citizenship like the bloody Americans do. You're an Aussie no matter where you live. Stiff bickies. Pay up. Doesn't matter if you haven't set foot in Australia in a decade, haven't used a single service, haven't voted, haven't taken a cent. They'll still want a piece of your pie. And don't think it's not coming. It's coming. Citizenship-based taxation is the next logical step in this full-blown wealth grab. And the worst part, most Aussies don't even know it's happening. They're too busy trying to survive the cost of living, paying $12 for lettuce, and shelling out half their income on rent, to notice the government is lining up a quiet financial execution. People are so brainwashed by this tall poppy syndrome that they'll cheer as the rich get bled dry, until they realize they're next. Because the government never stops at the rich. They just start there. You think you're safe because your super's only sitting at $800,000. Think again. With inflation and time, you'll hit that threshold before you even retire. And when you do, they'll already be taking a slice. So, what's the play here? You reckon you're going to stay put, grin and bear it, maybe hope it gets better? Good luck. The ones with their heads screwed on are already legging it. You think it's a coincidence so many wealthy Aussies are packing up for Dubai, Singapore, Panama? These aren't conspiracy theorists. These are people with accountants, lawyers, tax experts, all saying the same thing: get out now before it's too late. Even the countries we used to look down on, the so-called third world, they're looking more like paradise now. Philippines? Zero tax on foreign income. Thailand? Get a fancy visa. Live like royalty. Serbia? Lower taxes. And none of this wealth seizure crap. These places are rolling out the red carpet while Australia's rolling out red tape and bills with your name on it. It's like watching your abusive ex marry someone else and suddenly become the perfect partner. All while you're still getting the same old treatment at home. And let me tell you, if you think you're going to outsmart the ATO by keeping one toe in the water, think again. These bastards will count your days, track your ties, scrutinize your property, and pin you as a tax resident just because you kept your surfboard in mum's garage. You want to leave? You need a clean break. Sell the house, cut the bank accounts, remove the kids from school. Don't just move, disappear. Anything less, and they'll drag you back into their jurisdiction and slap you with a tax bill big enough to make your eyes water. You know what really gets me, though? The way they dress it all up in fairness and equity, like robbing people blind is some noble cause. Oh, but we need to close the wealth gap. Mate, you don't close the wealth gap by dragging successful people down. You close it by giving everyone else a fair go. But that's not what they're doing. This isn't about helping battlers. This is about a government that can't balance a budget and needs to raid your wallet to cover its tracks. And they're not stopping with super or stocks either. Next target? Crypto. You can bet your bottom Satoshi they're coming after your digital assets. Already planting the seeds, calling it shadow money, blaming it for crime and tax evasion. What a load of horseshit. They hate crypto because it's the one thing they can't control. It's outside the system. And that scares them more than anything. So they'll tax it, regulate it, demonize it. And before you know it, they'll be taxing unrealized gains on that too. You haven't sold your ETH, but it's up 20%? Congrats. Here's a bill for gains you never banked. Absolute madness. And don't even get me started on housing. Prices are already off the charts thanks to government meddling, low supply, and insane immigration policies. But now they want to tax your capital gains while still pretending to help first-home buyers? Give me a break. They've turned the Aussie dream into a cruel joke. Own a home? Good on you. Now pay tax every time it goes up in value, whether you sell or not. And if you don't own a home, good luck ever getting one. You'll be stuck renting forever, while the government skims more off the top to pay for their next scheme. Meanwhile, our leaders sit in Canberra on six-figure salaries, racking up perks, travel allowances and pensions you and I will never see. These are the people making the rules. These are the people deciding how much of your money they get to take, and they want more. Always more. And here's the kicker. Even if you do everything right, pay every tax, follow every rule, they'll still move the goalposts, because you're not meant to win. You're meant to comply. Quietly. Without question. But stuff that, mate. You've got options. You've got a passport. You've got brains. You've got choices. Don't let them box you in with fear or guilt or that "you owe us" nonsense. You owe them nothing. They've squandered their credibility, pissed away your trust, and now they want your retirement too. Time to wise up, wake up, and work out where the hell you're going to go before they slam the door shut for good. This isn't a conspiracy. This isn't doom porn. This is real, happening now, and backed by policy. It's in the budget papers. It's in the legislation. They're just counting on you being too busy or too broke to notice. But not you. Not anymore. You've seen through the facade. You're not going to be the last one left holding the bag. They thought we wouldn't notice. They thought we'd roll over, cop it sweet like we always do. But this time we're onto them. Righto. Let's keep this fire burning. You've made it this far, which means you're not just some drongo scrolling TikTok while your freedoms get auctioned off to the highest bidder. Nah, you're awake. And once you've opened your eyes to this absolute mess, there's no going back. So let's dig deeper into this twisted system that's bleeding Australia dry. One rule. One reform. one stealthy cash grab at a time. You know what the real kicker is? It's not just about tax. It never bloody is. This is about control. Control over your finances, your movements, your decisions, your very lifestyle. We grew up thinking we were the lucky country, right? Beach Barbies, a fair go, hard work pays off. But what they don't tell you is that luck doesn't mean jack when the government decides they know better than you how to spend your own money. And once they start poking into your super, your crypto, your shares, your bloody side hustle on Etsy, what's left? You don't own anything anymore. You're just renting your freedom from the ATO. You think you've got privacy? Think again. Between data sharing agreements, digital ID proposals, and mandatory reporting rules, your financial life's an open book. They don't even have to tap your phone to know what you're doing. They've already got the receipts. That little $800 transaction on Binance 2 years ago? Yeah, they saw it. That side income from renting your granny flat? Logged. Your entire wealth is under the microscope, and the moment they decide you've got too much, boom, you're public enemy number one. And don't let the politicians sweet-talking fool you. They're masters at the soft sell. We just want the ultra-wealthy to pay their fair share. This won't affect ordinary Australians. Lies. Every single time they've introduced a tax or a policy just for the rich, it ends up smacking the middle class harder than a southerly buster at Bondi. Negative gearing? They're eyeing that off too. And when that goes, say goodbye to your rental income. Say hello to higher rents and fewer landlords willing to cop the risk. Let's talk about wealth redistribution. Sounds noble, doesn't it? Help the battlers, level the playing field. Only it's not really redistribution, it's confiscation. And the people getting the raw end of the deal aren't billionaires flying private jets. It's blokes like you and me who took a punt, saved a bit, maybe bought a few shares or some Bitcoin, and now find ourselves in the government's crosshairs. We're not Clive Palmer. We're not Gina bloody Reinhardt. But apparently, owning a second-hand Hilux and a rental in Ipswich makes us fair game. Now, about the exit tax. The audacity, mate. They don't just want to fleece you while you're here, they want a chunk when you leave too. Try to become a tax non-resident? Boom. They'll slap you with a deemed disposition bill so fat it needs its own postcode. It's like trying to escape a bad ex who still wants alimony because you had a good time 5 years ago. And don't think you can just wait it out or defer it. Interest stacks up, penalties get brutal, and if you don't comply, they'll blacklist you, chase you across borders, even freeze your Aussie assets. Think I'm exaggerating? Look it up. It's all there in black and white on the ATO's site. Meanwhile, real wealth, the political class, the lobbyists, the multinationals, they're laughing. They've got offshore trusts, inside access, tax loopholes the size of Uluru. They're not paying these new taxes. You are. You, the guy who actually built something from scratch, who didn't inherit a mansion or run a Ponzi scheme. You, who played by the rules until the rules got rewritten behind your back. And what do you get in return for your sacrifice? A health system on life support, schools that can't keep teachers, roads that look like Swiss cheese, cops who are too busy writing parking fines to stop real crime. Meanwhile, they're throwing billions into consultants, renewables fantasies that don't work when it's cloudy, and diversity training for public servants who couldn't give a toss. This is where your money's going, and they've got the nerve to tell you it's not enough. But here's the part they really don't want you to know. You can opt out. You don't have to stay and get bent over year after year. More Aussies than ever are waking up, taking their wealth and their skills, and getting the hell out. I'm talking about high performers, tech geniuses, entrepreneurs, crypto whales, even bloody surgeons, all saying, stuff this, and relocating to friendlier shores. You think El Salvador made Bitcoin legal tender because it's trendy? Nah, they're playing the long game, attracting capital, building communities, welcoming innovation, while Australia strangles it with red tape and taxes. The truth is, you've got more freedom in some so-called developing countries than you do here. Try running a startup in Australia. Good luck. You'll be buried in compliance, squeezed for payroll tax, hounded for bias, and still expected to provide 20 days annual leave, sick leave, and maybe a pony. And when your company finally turns a profit, the ATO is waiting with their hand out like a poker machine with no payout. Meanwhile, in places like Georgia or the UAE, you can launch a business in 24 hours, keep most of your income, and spend your time actually building, not filling out paperwork and fending off audits. I'm not saying it's perfect. Every place has its downsides. But at least they're not actively punishing success. At least they're not pretending that your ambitions are some kind of moral failing. Let's get real for a second. Australia's becoming hostile to its own citizens. And I don't say that lightly. It's a slow-boiling frog situation. One law here, one reform there. And before you know it, you're being told what car you can drive, how much meat you can eat, and how many air miles you're allowed to have. You think I'm kidding? Google climate personal carbon allowance. It's not science fiction. It's policy. And if you think that's got nothing to do with your money, think again. The same ideology that says you shouldn't fly too much is the one saying you shouldn't have too much money. It's all connected. You remember when Australia used to reward hard work? When you could buy a block, build a house, start a business, and actually get ahead? Yeah, those days are slipping away like VB at a BBQ. Now it's all debt traps, tax traps, and culture traps. They want you passive, tired, distracted, always just one step away from financial ruin, so you're too scared to rock the boat. But screw that, mate. Rock the bloody boat. Build a lifeboat and get rowing. There are places out there, real places, where you can live well, invest smart, raise a family, and not be punished for it. Countries that won't guilt you for your success or milk you like a cash cow. And you don't have to be a millionaire to make the move. You just need a plan. Maybe a second passport. Maybe a solid accountant. Maybe the guts to say, I've had enough. Because let's face it, if you stay, you're not just gambling on your finances. You're gambling on your freedom, your peace of mind, your future. You're trusting that a government addicted to spending and scared of growth will somehow fix the mess it created. When has that ever worked? Look, I'm not here to sell you fear. I'm here to slap you with reality. And reality is this: Australia is slipping into financial authoritarianism. Slowly, subtly, and with a smile. And unless you start making moves now, you'll wake up one day wondering where your freedom went, where your money went, where your life went. You'll still be stuck, still grinding, still watching the dream evaporate like rain on a tin roof. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can act, you can prepare, you can pivot, whether it's crypto, whether it's a business abroad, whether it's shifting your residency. You've got options, mate. More than you think. The only thing standing in your way is fear, and the lies they've fed you that you're somehow selfish for wanting to keep what you've earned. Let them say you're un-Australian. Let them call you selfish. Because if caring about your future is selfish, then bloody oath, wear it with pride. You're not a cog in their machine. You're a legend, a thinker, a fighter. And legends don't go down quietly. So here's what I want you to do right now. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, sit down and map your life out. Where do you want to be in 5 years? 10? Still paying 50% tax and apologizing for your own success? Or living somewhere sunny, free, and sane, where you can build, grow, and actually enjoy the life you worked your ass off for? Look into your options. Talk to expats. Call a migration lawyer. Read the tax treaties. Understand the exit process. Don't just dream about freedom, design it. And then, when you're ready, act. Don't wait for another budget announcement. Don't wait for them to start taxing your primary residence, because trust me, if you wait, they will. Australia's not lost yet, but it's bloody close. And if the only people left are too scared, too broke, or too brainwashed to speak up, then what's left to fight for? You've got one life, mate. Don't waste it funding a system that sees you as a wallet with legs. And if they're watching this, good. Maybe it's time they realize we're not all asleep at the wheel. We're awake. We're aware. And we're out. Catch you in the next one. And don't forget to slap that like button like it just taxed your unrealized gains. Oi, if this fired you up proper, grab the Is this the better Australia you promised, T? Chuck it on. At your next tax appointment, your accountant's office, or while you're booking that one-way flight to freedom. Stay sharp, stay stubborn, and never stop calling out the bull when they try to sell it as progress. You've earned your freedom. Now bloody keep it. See you on the outside, legend.